How to survive a building collapse. A building can collapse for a variety of reasons in today's world. A terrorist attack, a leaking gas main, an earthquake, flooding, landslides or mudslides, hurricanes, tornadoes, or an avalanche can all cause a brand new, sound structure to collapse. Whatever the cause of the building's collapse, there are some strategies to survive and flee the structure. One of the most crucial things you should have is an emergency plan in case your house or workplace collapses. This plan should include instructions about what to do if your house or business partially or completely collapses. If you reside in a high-risk location where buildings have been known to collapse, you should do exercises at least twice a year so you can prepare for these scenarios. The exercises should cover both finding an easy route out and circumstances in which you are completely blocked off and have no way out. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time visiting our channel, please subscribe and smash the subscription button and the notification bell to ensure you don't miss out on any of the other incredible content we have in store for you. Stay tuned as we go through some of the finest life survival methods in the worst case situation, which in this case is a building collapse. Without further ado, what should you do in the case of a building collapse? What should you do if the building starts collapsing? Most of the time, there will be little or no notice that a collapse is on the way. The most essential thing is that you remain cool and get out of the building as soon as possible. If an open door or window is your nearest exit, do not be afraid to use it. If you are in a building with an elevator, avoid using it since it is a death trap. If the building collapses, the elevator may fall off its pulley system or the elevator cables may shatter. In any case, the elevator would plummet to the bottom of the elevator pit, very certainly killing you. If the elevator became stuck in the elevator shaft, you and anybody else would be trapped in the shaft while the building collapsed around you. The elevator may remain at the level where it is trapped until rescue personnel arrive, or the elevator shaft may collapse as it did at the World Trade Center. You will be considerably safer and may live longer if you use the stairs. The unfortunate aspect of the World Trade Center disasters was that staff and tourists were conditioned to use elevators rather than stairs. These folks did it on a daily basis and never considered using the stairs in an emergency. More people may have lived in this situation if more people had not panicked and used the stairs, even from higher floors. Instead, during the cleaning, the elevators were discovered to be crammed with human remains. If you cannot get out. Now, what do you do in a situation where you seem stuck and there's no way out? Step 1. Assess the issue while remaining as calm as possible. I understand that it is easier said than done, but if you panic, your judgment will be clouded and you will be unable to make the proper judgments at such a vital time. Some people are so terrified that they can't even talk or move until it's too late. If you start screaming for aid while trapped in an airtight pocket, you may consume the remaining oxygen and choke to death. Disasters typically strike rapidly, and it is critical that you act as soon as possible. You might be dazed, bewildered, or pumped up on adrenaline. Fear paralyzes the majority of individuals, causing them to act impulsively. Take a moment to examine the situation. You may only have a few seconds to flee, and making the incorrect decision in a crisis might be your last. Look for the nearest stairs and attempt to utilize it to escape as quickly as possible. Step 2. How to take cover properly. For many years, the most effective strategy to preserve your life in a crumbling structure was to duck and cover. In this life-saving strategy, a person will get beneath a heavy item such as a table, bed, furniture, or mattress. The plan was for debris to fall off the furniture and drop to the floor. The fact is that if the building collapses, the ceiling or walls will fall straight down, crushing the individuals who are sheltering behind these materials to death. If you can't get out, search for a strong piece of furniture that won't collapse if something falls on it. A hefty desk, couch, or giant overstuffed armchair are examples of suitable furniture. Do not go beneath any of these for your own safety. Rather, lie on the floor in the fetal position next to them. This region is known as the triangle of life. The less the item compacts, the larger the void, and the more likely that the individual using the space for safety will not be wounded. This is also a location where debris is unlikely to harm you. The furniture will be able to sustain a falling wall or ceiling while also creating a safe zone near to it. You could get hurt, but odds are you'll make it out of the debris alive. Fire in the building. In most calamities, fire may swiftly spread throughout the structure. Inhaling smoke can slow you down, if not kill you. Keep in mind that you may only have a limited amount of time before the fire spreads and closes off all remaining departure alternatives. Stay low to the earth and avoid inhaling smoke at all costs. Cover your nose and mouth with a wet towel or your shirt. This will assist in filtering some of the smoke. plastic moldings and metal vapors are frequently emitted into the air after a fire. They are exceedingly poisonous and should be avoided to the greatest extent feasible. Things to do before opening doors. While attempting to flee, people may unintentionally aid the spread of the fire by opening doors. Always test the temperature of the door by touching it. As the fire might be on the ceiling or the floor, touch the top, center, and bottom of the door. If the door is hot, do not open it because you may produce a backdraft, which will only hasten the spread of the fire. Always check stairwells. If you are stuck due to a fire below you or have no other way out, examine the stairway first. Determine whether there is smoke billowing from the stairs or whether something is preventing smoke from entering through the cracks in the door. Most stairwells in modern buildings are fireproof, which increases your chances of survival. Firefighters will also be able to reach you faster than if you were in a random room around the complex. If there is a lot of smoke in the stairwell, you should avoid it or risk dying from smoke inhalation. At all costs, you must prevent needless movement. If you are aware that you are trapped behind a heavy object or a pile of rubble, you should endeavor to avoid any needless movement. If you must move for any reason, attempt to move slowly and steadily. Make no abrupt movements under any circumstances, or you risk bringing down a large amount of rubble, which may compound your injuries or perhaps kill you. In the collapsing structure, be cautious of what you breathe. There will most certainly be a lot of dust as a result of the building's collapse. Cover your mouth, eyes, and nose with a handkerchief or part of your clothing to protect yourself from the deadly dust and sharp debris. To avoid stirring up more dust, it is critical to remain as motionless as possible. If you breathe in such material, you run the risk of getting an infection or having other respiratory problems. Use a flashlight or a cell phone to signal rescuers. Rescue crews will be looking for flickers of light or anything out of the norm in the gloomy atmosphere of a fallen structure. If you have access to a mobile phone or a flashlight, you can send out a signal to assist in speeding up your rescue. Light can travel a great distance and is easily perceived, especially by dogs and robotic cameras. Avoid making noise. Loud noises such as those made by a high-pitched whistle or an air horn might cause the building to collapse again. To circumvent this difficulty, utilize sound with caution and attempt to use light for signaling wherever feasible. Having said that, if you must, tap, but do not pound, on pipes or the floor. Rescuers and their dogs are trained to listen for any noise. Tapping on a big pipe will cause an echo to travel through the pipe. Another important thing to remember in the event of a building collapse is to be psychologically prepared. Almost usually, this is what distinguishes the dead from the living. Someone who does not just curl up and wait for their demise. If you follow these building collapse instructions and are psychologically prepared, you will most likely survive. In either case, you will be able to escape the fallen structure or be rescued. It's the space in between that counts the most. If you have any comments or suggestions on these survival tricks, please leave them in the comments section below. Please also subscribe to the channel and hit the subscribe button and notification bell to guarantee you don't miss out on any of the other incredible material we have in store for you. If you loved the video, please give it a thumbs up. We look forward to seeing you again soon.